What is up, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Creative Smoothie. I'm so excited to be here today sharing more information for you to learn about marketing, business strategy, and entrepreneurship in general. Listen, if you're also a creativepreneur, right? If you're in the creative business, I think that you're really gonna love this episode today because today we're gonna dive deep into what it takes to go from side hustle to main hustle successfully without losing your temper, okay? So, this is what we're gonna dive into today. But before I do that, I just wanted to thank you for listening, to invite you to subscribe to this channel or podcast, depending on where you're listening or watching, and to please drop some feedback in the comments if you found this next episode that we're recording right now useful, okay? Because I spend a lot of time recording these episodes and I do get some feedback from people. And while this is in no way, shape, or form done to reach hundreds of thousands of people, I still want to hear from you and to get some feedback from you on what you want to listen to, on what you want to hear on this podcast, and on whether or not the kind of content that I'll be sharing so far has been useful for you. If you've used something that I've talked about in this podcast, just let me know because I can then use that conversation topic more often to help other people also gain those benefits, okay? But I want to jump straight into this episode today. So, without further ado, how can I turn my side hustle into my main hustle? Okay, I'm not going to go through the exact step-by-step process of how to do that because, and this is important, everybody's process is going to be very, very different. And because of that, I can only tell you that there are certain things that you should take into account when looking at the decision of, okay, I have this side hustle on the side. I am working for this company, but really my side hustle is generating some money and I really love doing that a lot more than my actual job. And I would like to find a way to, quit my job and start making my side hustle the main hustle. There's a few things that you have to take into account, okay? And everybody is different. It depends on what you're doing, what your side hustle is, your interests. So let me just explain a bit about what I mean by that, okay? There are certain things that we have to take into account, and starting with our needs and wants, okay? Our needs and wants are going to indicate the kind of lifestyle that we're aiming for. And many times what happens is that you have a certain pay, a certain type of lifestyle, a certain type of routine where you're working for a 9 to 5 or an agency or a job, that it's not going to translate to your business and entrepreneurial life, okay? And you might earn less money at the beginning when you start your business. You might have to work a lot more hours. You might see people less often. Your social life might heavily decrease. It has, for me, it went from very social to almost seeing nobody because of the pandemic and because of the decision that I made to start my business. So, first of all, assess your needs. What do you truly need to survive? And if you live with somebody else or if you have dependents, this also extends to them. What do these people need from you or in accordance with you? And you start enumerating the stuff that you really need, that you cannot negotiate yourself out of. So you can understand when you make the transition, if one of those 3, 4, 5 needs is heavily compromised, you need to know whether or not you're going to continue with your business, or if you're going to continue, what kind of solutions are you going to implement to take care of them? Because your needs are different than your wants. Your needs means you might put yourself in danger by quitting your job. And a lot of people just say, don't think about it, right? And I don't want you to think too much about the disadvantage, but I do want you to take into account everything because plans are nothing, planning is everything. I don't remember exactly who said this quote, but I'm pretty sure it was a military general or somebody from the Marshall in the industry. So you need to understand your needs because you might want to make $120,000 a year, but do you need to make $100,000 a year? Or do you need to make more like 60, 70 and kind of give up on some things? Because then we go into wants. What do you want? Those are not necessary things on the short term, but maybe in the long term you want them, right? So you have to think in the short term and long term, what are your needs and wants? Because if not, you're going to go into business thinking that your life, your needs, your wants, everything's going to keep being the same when it couldn't be further away from the truth. You're going to get hit with the reality that stuff is going to change, not for the worse, but it's going to be very different. So understanding that, like, who depends on you? Is anybody else going to be affected by this decision? What do those people need? Are you going to be able to keep on providing those things? And if not, do you have a backup plan? Okay, very, very important. Needs and wants, they determine the kind of lifestyle that you want. Okay. Second thing is adjust your expectations. Okay. And especially, and I wrote down here just income expectations, which kind of just talked about, but adjust your expectations of everything. And I actually say to you, have no expectations. You can set goals. Of course, you want your side hustle to become your main hustle by December, or you want your side hustle to become your main hustle and generate this much amount of revenue within the first 6 months. All those expectations are also goals sometimes, right? And it's good to have goals. It's good to know, hey, this is where I want to be. But understand that where you want to be and where you're going to be can be two very different things, okay? And it might hurt your heart or your soul to understand that you might not make as much money as you want at first, but it is crucial to understand that. Why? Because if you go out with the expectation of receiving, I don't know, making 10K a month from your first month in, then you're going to fail from month one because you would have done like less than 20% of the goal that you set out for yourself, right? And what happens then? Your morale goes down, your energy goes down, your purpose goes down, you don't have a why, and you quit, right? You go back to your job, or even worse, you try to go back to your job and now you can't. So managing expectations and managing the expectations of how long is this going to take? What are the people going to be like? What's the industry like? What are some challenges? You know, what do I expect from myself and from my business? What do I expect from the people around me? What do people around me expect from me? If you manage to understand expectations at all stakeholders, right? We can call them stakeholders, your family, your friends, your loved ones. If you understand what everybody's expectations are and you can successfully manage them, you've just acquired one of the most important business skills ever. Like managing client expectations, it is crucial to framing your own success, because if you expect your business to create a certain amount of money, or to have this many clients, or to work with a client that's this big by this date, it is great because it's going to allow you to take the steps to get you there. But if you don't get there and you've made it an expectation, so you made it a rule that you have to earn $10,000 in your first month, then you're letting yourself down. So make sure you manage expectations smartly. The next thing is you have to learn soft and hard skills that reign the business world. And I'm a beginner, okay? So what I'm telling you, it's not that I have under the belt completely, I've mastered. It is still opinion, but it is a result of conversations with people who have been in this for 20, 40 plus years, okay? So the 4 soft and hard skills that I wanted to share with you today that I think you should gain 100% if you want to be able to sell in business are marketing. So just learn about marketing. And in marketing, it's pretty simple. Learn what your product is helping people solve, who is it helping solve, and how you can communicate that to those people and where. That's basic marketing for you, but you can do that and still have a good idea of what the marketing is supposed to be. So develop marketing skills. Don't become a marketing master, but develop marketing skills. Next, develop business strategy skills. Making a business plan is not enough. Trust me. Like creating a business plan that shows, oh, we want to make this much money and this is the market, these are the possibilities. It is not enough. You have to understand business strategy and pivoting and finding your niche and how to attract clients and funnels and customer service and lifetime client value and the minimum viable product and the minimum viable audience. And a lot of the strategy that goes into creating business is about finding a problem out in the real world and being able to solve it, okay? And it boils down to that. Don't make it too complicated, but understand how to identify problems within the world, how to identify challenges, how to see, oh, this person needs this or that. I can provide you with that. That's all business is, okay? So if you understand and if you can identify where value can be added or where there's a need or a want or a desire, you're going to have it so much easier. Third is sales, both spoken and written. So copywriting, sales copywriting is what I'm actually most familiar and experienced at. I've done that for 3-4 years now continuously as a freelancer and as a hired advertiser. And I can honestly tell you that without sales copywriting, you will not be able to communicate your product value to the people. And it's a pity, because I really do believe that copywriting is one of the most high paid skills in the world, but it is also one of the most needed skills in the world. And the real reason why people don't do their own copywriting is simply time. Copywriting doesn't involve that much skill, for real. You can learn a lot about copywriting simply by looking at 20 sales letters, reading and rereading them over and over, and then writing them over and over. Because you're going to develop the kind of swipe file that I talked in my last episode about, that you're going to be able to draw from. So sales, knowing what drives people to make a sale or not make a sale, what makes them comfortable to buy or what drives them away, is crucial, because it is a subtle art of conversation that if you manage to dominate, you will be able to help anybody and anyone with the kind of product that you want to sell them with. Okay? So make sure that you learn sales as well. Lastly, customer support and service. I cannot tell you how important that is for retaining customers and for making them come back. If you want to have a successful business model, and usually side hustles are some sort of freelancing gig that you want to start or some shop that you want to open, you gotta keep customers coming in. It is a lot cheaper to get a customer to buy again rather than it is to earn a new customer. It is so much cheaper, it takes a lot less time, and it is much more probable that they're going to buy from you. So understanding customer service and treating your customers with the kind of experience and service that you would want to receive, and not only you, but everyone should receive, it's going to increase the perceived value of your service, and there's going to keep people coming back, because they know they don't have to deal with an asshole in order to get to their job done. They just know that they can communicate with you. You're a cool person. You're going to understand what they need, and you're going to be professional with them and support them throughout the business offer that they have, the business order that they have with you. Okay? So customer service and support is incredibly important. Next, give yourself a defined period give yourself a defined period of time to try it out. So what I mean by that is, don't quit after a month. Obviously, it depends on what you're doing. Like if you quit your job and you had no money saved on the side, you might have to get another sort of job on the side again to keep on going so you don't starve. But if you quit your job and you manage to save some money, then think about saving some money and give yourself 2-3 months of absolute leeway to where you'd be making no money whatsoever and you'd still be able to survive. That's the kind of deal that I made with myself. And when I quit, I had 2 months. 2 months of money that I could survive on. 2 months many times is not even enough to get a business up and running. So I would definitely recommend more, but don't go on the security. Like sometimes we have a safety net that we can fall back on, and so that kind of prevents us from really maintaining our balance as well as we can. We're like, oh, whatever, if I fall, I have this safety net of savings that I can use up. Many times what happens is the first 2 months, you're not going to get much leeway. You're going to use all that money that you saved, and then you're going to go, you're going to arrive in month 3 with no money and finally kick in your survival instincts, and your business is going to thrive because you're going to put the work that you actually need to put in to get the money back. So there are many ways to do this. That's why I'm telling you, give yourself enough time. Don't just make it for a month and then quit, because most businesses take years, if not decades, to get to the point that they want to get at. And, give yourself time for everything in general when you try it. Don't just try it out once. Put a few reps in and then see if it works or not. Next, focus on building the network that will sustain and support you. I couldn't have done anything in the United States without the incredible support of the family that has basically adopted me, the Laufenbergs. My wife's family has helped me. There's no word to describe how much they have done for me. They have kept me safe here in the United States. They have given me a home. They've given me food. When the pandemic hit, they housed us in their own home and took care of us. They always support us, not only financially, but morally. And they've been a rock for me that I could just sit on and wait for the crisis to pass. There's a lot of things that happen in my life lately, and without this network of not only this family, the Laufenberg family, who I'm eternally thankful for, but the people that I made as friends on internet, on social media. I have become very deeply networked with people all around the world just by being in the correct communities on Discord, on Clubhouse, on social media. I found out where my people hung out, and that's where I went to hang out too. And if it's of course easier if you are sort of an extrovert or you're not that shy to talk to people, which is my case. I love talking with people. But even if you don't, it is important to understand that people around you are going to be the people that help you grow. And if you go alone, you're going to get to a certain point, but you're not going to be able to grow past that. If you go with people, you're going to have to sometimes, you're going to have to give in, negotiate. It's not going to be always the way you want it, but you're going to be able to get much further than if you were to get by yourself. And the network is always going to help you when shit goes south. Always. So make sure you have that network built in. Three on not the third one, but just another thing that I wanted to say is make sure you're willing to trade comfort for freedom. Okay? Actually, make sure you're willing to trade comfort and certainty for freedom and possibility. Okay? Right now you have comfort. You know you're going to get paid a certain amount of money per month. You know every day your routine is wake up, get coffee, get breakfast, go to work, come back, do your routine, eat, sleep. When you're a business person, that kind of comfort goes out the door, because sometimes you have clients that want to speak to you about possibly working with you at 10 p.m. in the night because they're in Australia and it's day over there. So suddenly your working hours are not defined from 8 to 5 at the beginning, because later on I'll tell you that you can adjust your schedule to work just as much as you want every day, but you first got to, build up your business to get there. But to my point, you're going to have to give up comfort and certainty. You're not going to get a certain amount of money per month, like guaranteed. You might not even get anything at first. And you might not be able to have the life of comfort where you can order food out all the time and go to the most expensive grocery store like Whole Foods. And you might not be able to have the comfort of living in the best apartment. And many times that was a problem for me too. Listen, it goes back to the lifestyle. Making sure that you're willing to trade comfort and certainty for freedom and possibility. To many people, it sounds like a shitty deal. To me, it sounds like life. To me, freedom and possibility of good and bad. It's not only good opportunities, it's also the possibility to hit yourself with some really bad things in life when you're out there without a big company that supports you, provides healthcare for you, helps you out, like have job stability, right? When you're on your own, shit can go south real fast, and the only person who can take care of that is you. And your network, but the main responsible person is you. There's nobody above you. You're the owner. You're the manager that you go to usually. So understanding that can make you understand that suddenly you don't have to answer to anybody. Suddenly you don't have to follow a set of rules defined by somebody else who's clearly not working efficiently, just so that you can fit in the work culture and appeal to your manager and keep your job, okay? None of that anymore. None of that of changing quality for fitting in is going to happen anymore, because you're going to be the person that decides the quality of work that you want to do, the standards, the discipline, everything that goes on through your business, you're going to be able to put your finger on and touch. So you now have a lot more control over what happens within the organization that you're working in, right? So it's a give and take. And if switching out comfort and certainty for freedom and possibility sounds like a good deal to you, then entrepreneurship is probably the thing for you. But just know that many people get into it and then realize they don't like it. And that's why I encourage everybody to at least try, because you can try and see that you don't like business. But if you don't try and you just think that it's going to be awful, or you think it's going to be easy, you might start and you might be surprised. Oh, damn, it's not that easy to be an entrepreneur. Or, oh, damn, I like this more. And even though I had to give up certainty, I appreciated the fact that I can travel around the world whenever I want. All right, let's keep going. Become comfortable with inconsistency. I think I just wrote that, but basically inconsistency in life is not only money, paying people. It's just life is not going to be as repeated and as cycled anymore. Random stuff can happen. Your days are not going to be as structured, right? Your routine, get ready to break all sort of routines and then rebuild them back up and break them down. And building and breaking and building and breaking is the life of business, okay? Don't be your own bad boss. Don't fall for the mistake that I fell for, and I'm still trying to learn. Once I quit my agency job, I try to apply the same style of expectations and questioning and almost self-interrogation that I used to have from managers at my old job, right? So I was like, no, I must get this done today. I need to get this done. And while sticking to discipline is great, you don't need to do anything anymore. You are choosing to do it because you're running your own business. And you don't need to do anything. You get to do everything. And so if you understand that being your own boss does not mean you're going to be the greatest boss, and being aware of that can help you become a better boss. And it's all self-love, okay? If you love yourself and if you value yourself and if you understand that you don't need to every single day provide the very, very best of your energy and more in order for you to be happy, then you're going to win. Because if you're your own bad boss and suddenly you set yourself to create, I don't know, 30 pages of copy every single day because you know that's what's gonna get you the money, you're obviously gonna start burning out. But the employee version of you is gonna start burning out. The boss version of you is gonna tell you, yeah, but we set a goal. We have to get these things done. And then the boss is going to despise the employee. The employee is gonna despise the boss, and you're going to hate whatever you're working on. Okay? So instead, it starts with giving yourself the correct kind of goals and setting the correct kind of expectations, which is what we talked about. And then it follows with, it's all right. You're your own boss. Nobody's going to come scream at you. And because of that, it might be scary. It might be like, okay, but if I don't keep myself in check, who will? You will keep yourself in check. You have to understand that your expectations might be a lot higher than your capabilities. And that's something that I am constantly guilty of. I have such high expectations of myself that I become my own bad boss that looks over the shoulder and makes sure that I have everything done 3 days before I even said I'll have it done. Don't become that. Be your own good boss. Give yourself some time off. Realize that you can finally understand yourself as a boss, which your old boss could never do. So give yourself the time to understand yourself and love yourself, and then you're going to be able to manage yourself as the employee of the business much, much better. All right, then the last one. Understand true value. Okay, so what made me decide finally to become an entrepreneur and to follow the path of business is when I understood one key distinction that people seem to miss about business. See, when I say capitalism and business and entrepreneurship, people think of other people who take advantage, greedy people, greedy corporations, people that just care about money and doing anything to get the sale. And while there are so many businesses out there who focus on doing just that, I, on one point, like to look at the true American, because I've learned this in America, the true American way of doing business, which is value exchange. I give you something in return for a service or a product that's going to help me solve something else. And when you see it in that way, buying and selling in business is nothing but presenting the correct products and the most valuable products in front of people that truly need them. Okay? And if you understand true value, you're going to win in business. But for me, it was very hard to understand what clients and people perceived as value. What was valuable to them was not what was valuable to me, because under the agency structure, what was valuable was basically appealing to the superior and not making their life harder, not asking enough questions, and just doing the work and hoping for the best. And just if you do the work the way they want to, it doesn't really matter if you agree that this is good work or not. You just do the work for them. And I don't think that is valuable. Okay? I don't think that is valuable, because at some point that work's going to come back to stab your boss in the back, and then it's going to stab you because the boss is going to be like, hey, the kind of work you did not prove the value that we wanted to. No shit. The kind of value that's being appreciated in the workplace, it's not the same value that's appreciated and perceived on the business marketplace, okay? People don't care about how good your business is. People care whether or not the 300 words that they asked you to write are going to be done by tomorrow. If you can tell them that the words are going to be done by tomorrow and they have your guarantee, they will be good quality and they will hit the 3 main points that they've outlined, it is much more important than delivering that copy with a beautiful PDF cover and making sure to like write compliments and telling them how interesting their project is. Understand what's true value. Understand why people are coming to you, okay? And the only way you can do that is by truly understanding the need or challenge or desire. So understanding value, understanding what people truly need, it's going to allow you to create the kind of services and business that truly delivers that value. Not only the perceived value. Many times you buy something and you think you bought something else, but you didn't. You just bought that thing. Like when we buy a mattress, we buy better sleep, we buy better productivity, better health, better energy, right? But we're not aware of it. So it's the same with value. Understand that your product might not just be selling copy, it might be selling the time that person is not going to spend on having to work on this. It's going to be, hey, instead of spending 3 hours on writing this copy, you're gonna be able to spend 3 hours on developing your marketing or being able to launch your business faster. And you'll never have to take care of copywriting again. I will. And so that's 15 hours per month that you save. How much more valuable is that than you're gonna be able to have 300 words of copy? Okay? Understand what drives people and understand what they find valuable. And if you understand value and you become the business that starts with value first and gives value without asking for anything in return, in the long term, you are going to win. Okay? All of these things are super important to take care of and to take into account whenever you want to go from your main business, your main job, to your side hustle and turn that side hustle into your business, your full-time business, okay? These are only some of the things. I'm sure that there's tons of other ones that I didn't touch on. I might do a second episode. I don't know. But if you have any other advice, if you have any other points, if you have anything else that you'd like to add to this, please comment, write to me an email. You have my email in the description. You know where to follow me on social media. Just write to me and I'd love to hear more about it, okay? If this was useful, please share it with somebody else, an entrepreneur, a freelancer, a creative person, a coach, and please share it with them and tell them, hey, I know you've been meaning to start your own side hustle. I know you want to become a freelancer full time. Why don't you listen to this episode? It has a few key insights that you can start with. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here yet another day. It's a longer episode than usual, but I'm happy that I can bring this kind of content to you at least once a week. I wish you all the best. Good luck in business and peace. I'll see you the next time.